Hello, it's Father Jim, and I'm speaking from downtown Saniha. And just been out to get some drugs. Nice chemist over here. You go get your drugs for the dog, and then they say, "Would you like some lemons?" Like, I need lemons, but I got some more lemons for some of the concoctions that I'm making up, some natural juices and things that are supposed to make my hair a meter longer and my gut probably a meter smaller in size. Who knows? But it could come to you either the same or a totally changed man in a couple of weeks' time when they let us off of house arrest. There's been all kinds of theories and junk that just comes in. I just got a guy sent me something on the new 5G and how it's going to, destroy the world, and radiation is going to destroy everybody, and the latest conspiracy theories. My gosh, I'm not even keeping up with the news right now. Every now and then I'll catch a few headlines, but they're just too much news, too many theories, too much crime, too much this and that. And it just wears you down as we're on house arrest. So I found myself today talking to parishioners on the phone, and I thought, oh, they don't want to listen to me. I sound kind of down. So I went and did some prayers and did my readings for the day, and was on Corinthians. And it was kind of heavy. It was talking about the first Adam and the second Adam, and it was talking about the first coming of the Messiah and the second coming and the resurrections. The first resurrection, talking about how death has been defeated. And you look around from the time of the cross to the time now, and you think, oh, I don't know about death being defeated. I don't know about evil being defeated. It seems to be around us quite a bit. Well, it was defeated, but it wasn't destroyed. And that's the difference. And that's what the reading in Corinthians talked about today. I think it was 1 Corinthians 15, verses 28 onwards. Now, I'm not a great chapter and verse guy. That used to impress me. But not everyone that's got really well versed in the Bible doesn't mean they've got a real handle on being a Christian. Why do I say that? Well, when I was chaplain in a prison, we had a guy who had his own special wing all to himself. He had actually been in a psychiatric hospital, but he killed a nurse over there, quite brutally killed her. And he was known as the Hannibal Lecter of Scotland. He killed so many people. So Tommy had his own area. And the guards used to tell me, never take your eyes off him. Never, ever take your eyes off him, because when you do, he'll be on you. But Tommy and I would talk, and Tommy knew a lot about the Bible. And it turned out his parents were brethren. Of course, he knew a lot about the Bible. He had it, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and in the Bible, having to go to church quite often. And look what it produced. But you can't have too much of a good thing, I think. I scratched what I just said, but speaking in honesty, just because somebody is well versed, or they're well versed on the second coming, or what they think is the second coming, you don't have to listen to them. We have what's going on right now is, I don't think it's a judgment from God. Just like I didn't think the AIDS epidemic was a judgment from God, I don't think this is a judgment from God. It's a thing about things mutate, things happen, and this is probably going to hit us now. It's probably going to hit us again next fall, and then in the springtime one more time. And we could be on lockdown maybe more than once. So the church are scratching their heads trying to figure out how to survive during all this. We'll figure it out. We always do. But I think what the situation is about us as well is don't get defeated by this. Coronavirus quite possibly won't be defeated. in this first wave. It won't be. It'll be or it might be defeated after a while, but it won't be destroyed. We'll see it again. Where am I going with this? Well, where I'm going with this is, rather than trying to see, I suppose, the big macro picture in all of this and make sense of it all, there is no sense to it, other than we're human beings. We're introduced to various viruses when we're young, and some we get, some we miss. I don't think that we were introduced to an H1 type virus when we were younger, probably an H3. And I'm talking, I hardly know anything about this, but I do know that we're exposed to some things and some things miss us. And this coronavirus is something that's it's missed us. Later on when it comes back, yeah, we'll get some immunity to it. But it's always changing. And I think we have to be prepared for that. It's always changing. The challenges that we get in our life are always changing. They're always a bitch. They're always a bitch. But we get in them, and we overcome them, and we keep on going. And this is no different. There are going to be some people's lives who it touches personally, and I am sorry about that. The closest person, I say, does anybody know anyone? Well, a girl from school, or one of her best friends, and mother died. Now that, for my friend from school, that's personal for her, because growing up and having a girlfriend and the two of you being so close, of course you get close to the parents as well normally, and so that's a tragedy for them. But so far it hasn't affected us personally, other than putting two people in close proximity for cabin fever for probably the first time in our 20 years of being married. This is pretty intense stuff, I'm telling you. But we'll get over it. And so, some of you all are doing some pretty neat things. Some people are coming together every Sunday, and I hear you're having a party with your neighbors within a social distance. You're still in your areas, but you're able to sort of have a meaningful gathering. Other people are picking one job to do a day, and that makes sense to me because I've got a whole list of stuff. And rather than having a whole onslaught of things, that people are doing one job, and that's it. And that makes a lot of sense. Some people are playing cards with each other, and I think that's wonderful. So we've got a few more weeks before I'll see you. And have along. Makes you wonder. You think all the time, I'm an essential worker, but I'm not on the list, so I'm still in jail like the rest of y'all. And I'm hoping that when we do get out of house arrest, it's not on a Saturday, or our first day out's a Sunday. Now that would be just silly, First day out, everybody runs to church, and